Hi, everybody. Today we've got a hypothetical 2024 matchup. This time it's going to be Beto O'Rourke, however you want to say it, for the Democrats, up against Donald Trump for the Republicans. This was suggested a while back in the comments. I'm trying to get through a lot of these, so let's dive into this one. Well, everybody knows Trump. We know his strengths and weaknesses. He's very polarizing. People come out to vote against him, but he does shake up the system. He speaks candidly. That anti-establishment angle does have some appeal. The thing that is hardest to predict on this one is what kind of campaign O'Rourke would run. If he goes hard in a progressive direction and talks at all about something like confiscating guns, that is going to be a problem for him. If he goes for more populist economics, he's going to have success. Now, the border, I think, is a sore spot for pretty much any Democrat in this race. Most voters think there's a problem at the border, and sounding even slightly laxed on it, I think, is going to help Trump. Now, also, O'Rourke, he has run statewide twice in Texas. He lost both of those bids for Senate and for governor, so he does have a track record of some notable losses. So there's going to be all the normal issues: abortion, crime, taxes, climate, education, Ukraine. Depending on how those issues are framed and how they campaign, some are going to help Trump, some are going to help O'Rourke. So there are some unknowns. I'm going to try to split it down the middle. So let's get into this one. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. We'll start in Alaska. That, I think, will still be 10 points. Maybe it does get down to 8 or 9, but maybe it gets to 12 or 13. I'm going to put that as just safe for Trump. Hawaii, safe for O'Rourke. Washington, Oregon, California, safe for O'Rourke. Next, Nevada, purple state. I think it could go either way. I think O'Rourke has some youth behind him. He probably would excite enough voters to be able to just carry the state by a tilt margin. Idaho, Utah, safe for Trump. Now we've got Arizona. This has trended toward the Democrats. Trump barely lost it last time, but with Arizona, it is a border state. I think it would be super close, but I think there's enough there for Trump to narrowly carry it by about a half a point, so it's going to go tilt for Trump. Montana, Wyoming, safe for Trump. Colorado, over 10, safe for O'Rourke. New Mexico, likely for O'Rourke. North and South Dakota, safe for Trump. Nebraska, at large, safe for Trump. The 2nd District, it's a little bit redder after redistricting, but not red enough. Trump, not the best fit for this blue trending district. O'Rourke is going to get it by about a 1-point tilt margin. Kansas, Oklahoma, safe for Trump. Now we've got O'Rourke's home state of Texas. Again, his track record is mixed here. 2 statewide losses. Voters might be a little bit tired of him. The border is an issue that's going to help Trump here. There's a lot of other issues, but I do think O'Rourke is going to get a little bit of a bounce. That means it's going to get much closer. It's still going to go to Trump, but only by a lean margin. Up to Minnesota. Usually this goes likely for the Democrat. That's what it's going to do this time, likely for O'Rourke. Iowa, likely for Trump. Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, safe for Trump. Now we've got Wisconsin. This is a tough call. I usually say if you think Trump can't win here, we did have Ron Johnson win re-election in the midterms. Turnout would be higher, could go either way. I think there's more vote out there that Trump has not tapped into. Even with the trends in the suburbs, I think Trump could carry it by a tilt margin. Illinois, safe for O'Rourke. Michigan, another Rust Belt state. I think it would be super close. I don't know how much success either of them are really going to have here at this point, but given the midterms and the tilt of the state, I am going to give it to O'Rourke by that tilt margin. Indiana, safe for Trump. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, safe for Trump. Down to Florida, Trump's home state. He's going to win it. It's going to be over 5, likely for Trump. How about Georgia? I don't know how well O'Rourke is going to do here in the Atlanta suburbs, and he might not have the best turnout with black voters, so I think it would be pretty close. But considering the trends, I am going to give it to O'Rourke by a tilt margin. South Carolina, safe for Trump. North Carolina, that's going to be about 1 to 1.5 points. Leans for Trump. Up to Ohio, that is going to be high single digits, likely for Trump. West Virginia, safe for Trump. Let's go all the way to Maine at large. That is going to be likely for O'Rourke. The 1st District, safe for O'Rourke. The 2nd District, that's going to be likely for Trump. Next door, New Hampshire, likely for O'Rourke. Now we've got the blue states. We've got Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Safe for O'Rourke. 2 states left. We've got Pennsylvania. It's another state I think is completely up in the air, depending how they run their campaigns. This state has gone back and forth. I think this is up for grabs, but I'm going to give a slight edge to O'Rourke by a tilt margin. Last state, Virginia. Virginia. Northern Virginia, too much for Trump here. That is going to be over 5 and likely for O'Rourke. So the final total, 282 for O'Rourke, 256 for Trump. O'Rourke with a small advantage. But as usual, there's several states that are extremely close. I do think Trump could win this if it's at all a red-leaning environment, maybe if O'Rourke makes any missteps. But Trump does have a ton of baggage. I think voters could get fatigued by that once he starts actually running his campaign. The media is another factor. They're going to be behind O'Rourke. I don't think there's much question about that. Unless, of course, he ran as an ultra-progressive anti-establishment candidate, then they would not be behind him. But I think in this matchup, he runs more of a center-left campaign. He does not talk about confiscating any guns. He tries to act like he has some border solution and does not just want a wide-open border. I think that's probably enough for independent voters or voters who might not be sure to barely give O'Rourke the edge. Now, there's other populist economic issues with healthcare and labor that's probably going to help O'Rourke, but he can't only come out there and campaign on abortion and Trump is a threat to democracy. That's not going to be enough. And Trump also can't just talk about crime and the border. He's got to do something with economics as well. Maybe he taps more into the America First, bringing manufacturing back, along with not cutting Social Security or Medicare. That could bring back a few voters in the middle that might be scared off otherwise. But there's a ton of other issues with culture. I think more of those are going to help Trump. If it becomes about economics, then O'Rourke is going to win. But there's a ton of unknowns here. Again, the media is a major factor. They can pretty much craft any narrative they'd like. The Trump fatigue, I think, is real. But how real is the question? Also, maybe there's fatigue with O'Rourke having 2 statewide losses. Who knows? But when you fill out a map, you got to come up with something. This is what I settled on. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this matchup? Do you agree with this map, or do you disagree with 5, 10, maybe 30 of these states somehow? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.